led the BCL in scoring in 2024. We saw the news yesterday. My man announced his retirement. Welcome to the dark side. As two of us are on the dark side. I don't know what Jordan doing, but man, Kyle Guy, welcome to the show, baby.
Appreciate you guys having me on, man. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you pulling up, man.
Absolutely.
Nah, without a doubt, man. So obviously everybody saw the news yesterday. What went into that decision, man, and how long did it take you to make that decision?
It's been weighing on me for 2 years, actually. Just as everyone can attest, once you leave college, basketball kind of changes a little bit. I obviously still love basketball, and obviously I'm staying close to it by doing what I'm doing. But I just, for the past 2 years, it's just been weighing on me, man. Overseas is a different grind, and I really enjoyed it, and my family enjoyed it. But after every season, when it's over, I'm like, man, do I want to do this again? And I just, like you mentioned, I had the best year of my career this past year in Tenerife, averaged 20, and after that, I'm like, do I still want to do this? And that's when I started to kind of listen to my intuition a little bit, try to be at peace with who I am and what I want to do. And so that's kind of all that went into it. And I just obviously when Coach Bennett offered me the assistant job, that maybe accelerated a little bit. And I was just like, why don't I just try this? If I don't like it, I'll stop doing it. So yeah, man, that was a long answer, but that's kind of everything that went into it.
Nah, I feel you, man. Hey, overseas, me and Rich were talking about it off air, man. At a certain point, like around 25, 26, you start asking yourself those questions like, am I all in or not? And, it's not for everybody, man. It's tough. Being away from home, regardless if you're having a good season or not, there's different things that go into everybody's decision to come back and play.
100%. And I think maybe if I would have stuck it out, maybe it would change. But I'm just not that person. I don't play the maybe it work. This is how I feel in the moment. I'm gonna make a decision based on how I'm feeling and what I think is best for everybody. And so yeah, man, that's why I decided to pull the trigger.
Well, Kyle, you mentioned, and congratulations on an outstanding career, collegiately, professionally, everything. And great job. People don't understand how hard it is to lead a league in scoring. And here you are in your prime. You are a step away. Now, you mentioned that you said if you don't like how it is, then you'll get out of it. Are you shutting the door completely, or is it an opportunity if things don't go the way that you want in coaching? You're still in your prime. You still can move. You can still get a bucket. Is it a chance that you might get back into the game one day if you don't?
Yeah, never say never. Look, I'm going into this 110%, going to give my all into this coaching experience. I'll take it year by year, and we'll see what happens. Look, I'm gonna be playing in practice. I'm gonna be staying in shape. Obviously, I run a pro-am in the summer. There's TBT now. There's the big three. I can keep playing if I want to keep playing. It's just not going to look the same as what I'm used to. So. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not never say never, but I'm definitely walking into this like I'm done.
Okay. Nah, man. So looking back at your career now, 26 years old, what's one of your favorite memories, man, that you probably hold closest to you right now?
I'll give two because the easy answer is the national championship, but more than that, it was me, Ty Jerome, and DeAndre Hunter watching one shining moment together at the end. We're all kind of sitting down in the confetti. I remember that vividly, and the way I felt. That was all the hard work paying off. Obviously redeeming ourselves. That was a cool moment. I say the other one is really just this whole spring. I was in a tough situation in Panathinaikos in Greece. I didn't do anything wrong, but I don't think Coach Ottoman really liked me as a player, and so obviously we decided to move on. And Tenerife they opened their doors with open arms, and Coach Chus, he really kind of gave me the green light from the jump, which I wasn't expecting because not many people know, but my first game with them, I was 0 for 7 with a terrible valoration. I didn't score. I played 20 minutes. It was terrible. And and he still gave me kind of the keys to the castle, me and Marcelino Huertas in the backcourt. So I got a lot of love for Tenerife, and I re-signed with them, even though I felt this way, just because if I was gonna do it again, I wanted to give them kind of the first go at it, because that's how much I appreciated what they did for me.
Oh, that's cool, man. Jordan Taylor unemployed, man. So you gonna slide over there, man. Kyle out, slide JT in. You got fresh legs.
Who's unemployed? Who's unemployed? You gonna get me fired on my day off. You gonna get me fired on my
news.
day
London
off.
Lions going under, baby.
You gotta keep reading the news. I'm under contract owned by Zalgiris, man. Tested that, man. You gotta keep reading the news. You gonna get me fired. See, on my day
let
off.
Let them know, Jay.
Kyle, man, talk about your experience a little more in Pana. Like, what do you feel like the opportunity is to like actually let you develop in the EuroLeague situation? A lot of times it's been said that Americans just don't get the same kind of, I guess, leeway to develop. Do you feel like it was a fair shake in that situation? And what were some of the biggest challenges that you saw, with that situation?
I don't want this to be like a burn session or nothing. I'm just going to tell you my experience and how everything went while I was there. So preseason, Oleg Balsarovsky and me were like two of the top leading scorers in the most minutes in preseason. Slukas and Lesort weren't there yet, so obviously that would have played a role in the preseason. But like I did fine. Like I was averaging probably like 8 points. Oleg Balsarovsky was averaging like 14 or something. Like he was cooking. And then once the regular season started, man, it was just like neither of us were getting any type of burn. And so I felt like I didn't get we didn't get a fair shake, no. But they obviously brought in Kendrick Nunn after that. And when they brought him in, I kind of knew like I was done, at least for that year. I had signed a 2-year contract. But me and my agent just kind of figured, like, we asked him straight up. We were like, hey, is he going to play it all this year? He said no. So we're like, all right, we're leaving. Like, I'm not going to sit. I'm too young to just sit here. And keep in mind, I had this this retirement in the back of my mind the whole time. I'm like, I'm not wasting a year sitting on the bench. And so no, I don't know. I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do a whole lot right just because I didn't have, like, the opportunity. But he just he wasn't messing with me, which is fine. It's all good. It worked out for me.
Yeah, I look back at last year. I think you and as well as Nico Mannion, you guys really kind of turned that around, turned that change of fit, into a positive. Both of y'all went to your respective teams and started killing. What was your mindset? Obviously sitting in that frustrated situation, and then like, did you feel like you had new life when you signed with Tenerife and you were like, all right, now I'm about to show y'all what y'all missed out on? Was there a chip on your shoulder after that?
100%. I'm a little bit more into like proving my believers right as opposed to proving my doubters wrong. But that was definitely like kind of a little bit of like not a revenge tour, because I know I wasn't playing against them or the same teams or anything, but it was definitely like, hey, like I could have been doing this, but I never got the opportunity to. So definitely some pent up energy, and definitely towards the end when I kind of felt the same way that I do now, I was like, all right, I really need to like cherish these moments and like leave it all on the court, which honestly was really fun to do that, because like everyone says they play 100% of the time, but that's really hard to do. But when like you might be done, you really do it.
That's absolutely right. Hey, Kyle, I don't know if you've been able to check out a little bit of this Team USA against Serbia, as Serbia has been able to take this lead. Devin Booker with a backdoor gets to the free throw line and knocks it down with Serbia up with, I think, 42-29. What have you been thoughts on the tournament? Have you been able to watch a little bit of these games?
Yeah, man, I've been watching everything Olympics related, from basketball to water polo to what we were watching earlier, javelin throw, everything. So it's funny because obviously, and Jordan knows, we played against a lot of these guys from Serbia. Like, they can hoop, but when the guys that don't hit threes that much start hitting threes, that's really That's just a momentum shift, especially for a team that is considered an underdog.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to watch. Like obviously there's been a lot always to talk about it, international guys catching up. It's like when these dudes are hitting threes, they do look really good, but when they not hitting threes, it's like, man, some of these dudes, they look like what I'm saying, they not really shot creators, and they not that. So the way the pendulum swings for some of these international teams is really crazy to me. But hey, right now they hitting them. So I thought one of the most electric Olympic moments that I've seen so far too, since you've been watching, was Buddy, the pole vault Buddy. Did y'all watch that?
Yeah, that was Swedish
fire.
dude that
Armando Duplantis.
Yeah,
that was electric, man. I was over here glued to my seat. I ain't never watched pole vault in a day in my life.
No, that was dope. Can we talk a little bit about the Noah Lyles comment, please?
Dive in. You got the floor.
We might have to hold off though. We might have to hold off right now. Shoot, these dudes about to trick the game off. But go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, no, but okay. But here's my thing. It's not even about the Olympics. Like when you're growing up as a track athlete, you're trying to get to the Olympics, right? When you're growing up as a basketball athlete, you're trying to go to the NBA.
Right.
Yep. So it's different, and I know, and they don't have the same like domestic leagues that we do. There's hundreds of leagues around the world. Right. And they don't have that same thing. So my whole thing is like, okay, no, we're not the world champs because we didn't beat somebody who's playing that we didn't beat the second division team in Lithuania. But like everybody, that's where you want to go. So if that's where everybody wants to go, then I play for Panathinaikos. I love those dudes. I know it. Celtics are beating them by 30 minimum.
I think
it's just different. It don't matter the rules. In my opinion, it doesn't matter the rules.
But tell me this though, Kyle. You played in the NBA. You played on high level teams. Now, what about the high level teams that are in Europe that have the quality, but it's some teams in the NBA, in your opinion, that even though they have the talent, is it possible that some of the better EuroLeague teams can beat some of the lower NBA teams? What is your take from it on being in the league?
Can you clarify like with that, like in a game or like in a
normal
series,
game?
or like...
Yes, for sure. There's a few teams that could beat like the Pistons on a back-to-back game 56 of the for sure, 100%.
Pistons got to catch strays,
But like they did it to themselves. But I'm just saying, like a lower level NBA team can definitely lose to Panathinaikos, Real Madrid, like some of these teams on just like a random night. But like, no, I think, and you play these guys 10 times, it's 9 out of 10.
It's 9 out of 10, huh?
Yeah, I mean maybe 8. Yeah.
The craziest thing about the whole discussion is Europeans have adopted this idea. Like they've championed this whole idea, right?
Yeah.
And the one thing that they do with their logic is the most backwards logic, like, because with the same logic, you can't call Panathinaikos the European champions because they don't participate against every European nation.
Yep.
The EuroLeague does not include every European nation. It's an implicit title to say European champion because you're saying the EuroLeague is the best league in Europe. Correct. So you can't have it both ways. Like the NBA is the best league in the world.
Yeah.
And I think too, when you go back to the track explanation, like everybody that's running, in track is the fastest in their country or the fastest just period, right? And that's how you end up placing yourself in these type of races. So they are quote unquote the best. And I think that when you talk about the best basketball players, nobody's going to argue where the best basketball players are. So if you want to get technical, okay, maybe you can't call it a world champion, but I don't think you could really even argue with somebody that would say that because there's nobody in the world with enough talent to even compete.
Right.
Well, speaking of enough talent right now, it's Serbia who's definitely got a 15-point lead over Team USA in the semifinals 2024 Olympics in Paris. You are watching the live stream watch along on the Role Player Podcast brought to you by Swish Cultures. We got Kyle Guy as our guest here. Kyle, Team USA down by 15. What type of adjustments do you think they need to make moving on in this game?
I think their bread and butter is transition. I mean, they're gonna make enough shots, but if they can't get any stops and get out and run with, LeBron, Book, Curry, and KD, and AD, and like with that group or Anthony Edwards, like if you can't get stops, then it's gonna be tough because I played with Bogey for a year in Sacramento, and he can get going.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, and that's what I was kind of saying earlier, man. They got to play with a pace. They got to get up and down, man. They're gonna slow it down and try to out execute Serbia. I feel like you playing into their hands and you letting their defense get set up, and you're not taking advantage of your true advantage, and that's the athleticism.
Which I don't think Joel Embiid should play this game, just in my opinion.
Come on with it.
Where did Jay go? Did he have to check? That's what we didn't. Just listen. Oh, he's back.
Here you go, right here. He back.
Nah, I don't. Embiid's the only one willing to take shots in the mid range right now. Is the only one willing to soften up the defense. I do think he is a defensive liability, right? But here's the point: that you could talk about playing fast all you want. The U.S. should be giving up 47 points to Serbia in 17 minutes,
first
bro.
and foremost.
Yeah, so you can't run, you can't play up tempo if you can't get stops. And then Serbia's doing the old school European thing where they're fouling every transition they get. Like, here's a steal. Now you can run. Now you got to run fine. But the U.S. should be ashamed of themselves. Giving up 47 points in a semifinal of in a 17-minute game.
Oh,
what are we talking about? There's Embiid. Hey, Embiid gotta play, and I don't know why they do not want to call fouls for this man. Embiid, he been getting thrown around. But I hear what you're saying, Kyle, on Embiid not playing. Like, and I don't disagree with the logic, but I don't think Embiid is really the problem right now. Like, I think he's probably playing